Okay, let's get into the stock market technical analysis. We're going to go through the broad markets, look at the charts. We're going to look at individual trade ideas, things I've been talking about for weeks now. We'll look at how those are playing out, and then we'll wrap up. If you guys are new or you're interested in finding additional value in the content, check out my stock market technical analysis course. It is not a day trading course. It is a stock market technical analysis course put together to help you find trade setups, trade ideas, how to read the charts, and really, take all the information that the charts can give us, okay? At the end of the day, that's the advantage we can get in the market. So check out the course, link in the description below. And then finally, private member group, if you're interested in additional trade ideas. A lot of the ideas that I have put out or that I will maybe cover in this video, I originally put out in the private member group, and I don't always give the public YouTube videos those ideas, or I don't throw them out at least when they're the most objective time for an entry. So, all right, let's get into it, guys. Link in the description for both those products. Triple Qs. So we have had a rally, right? We are in a bear market. That has not changed, okay? A bear market is defined, the old way of defining it is down by 20% or more, but at the end of the day, it's lower highs and lower lows. It's a trend, all right? The general market, and you see triple Qs here, is clearly trending down. Now, yes, you had a rally here. We have not taken out the most recent highs there. We, rallied up to here. Off the lows, we rallied up about 20%. Again, foaming at the mouth bullish. Everybody was foaming at, not everybody, obviously I wasn't. I was looking for more short opportunities. But a lot of comments in my YouTube channel about just everybody foaming at the mouth bullish, saying we're in a new bull market and off to the races we go. And it was very reminiscent of the comments that I received back in the last bear market rally right around this time frame. Okay, so now you can see bigger picture. If I have to really get down to the hourly to show you guys, but bigger picture, here's your uptrend on triple Qs, the tech sector. We had we broke down, back test one. There was a back test right there. And then they kind of created this secondary trend line. Finally, when that broke, really that candle there, it's just been selling ever since. So there's, that's essentially your sell signal. You had a sell signal here as well. But we're down 3%, nothing huge from the bottom of that candle. If you, at the very top of the candle, maybe down about 4%. I think we've got a little more to go to the downside before we start kind of battling it out again between the bulls. The 200 SMA on triple Qs is right down here at about 290. I would be looking for that. Okay, at this point, it makes a lot of sense that we're going to go test that 200 simple moving average at 290. That is the short-term target. Again, we also have the trend line. This is the bear market trend line on the daily chart that's been established. We're above that now. Okay, so it puts we could be finished with the bear market, and we'll only know here in the future, but not without likely a back test. So the levels that I'd be watching, obviously, the 200 simple moving average, 290, and then this trend line somewhere down here at 284.50. It depends on when you hit the trend line, and then potentially down here at about 278 or so. Those two trend lines, kind of a zone of support. All right, if we're back below there and we start breaking down and you start seeing daily closes back into this area, then it's likely lights out. We're likely going to roll down, take out the October lows, take out these lows down here, and make the next leg lower in an ongoing bear market. And most likely at this point, we're going to see pretty impulsive selling, kind of that capitulatory just plunge selling, which maybe will mark the end of the bear market or a near-term end, okay? We haven't seen that selling yet. We haven't seen just, you'll know it when you see it. Obviously, we'd like to be positioned ahead of it, but it'll be like lock limit down, 5% down days, massive down days, couple in a row, panic selling, all right? And we just have not seen that, but we'll see it in the VIX when it shows up, and there's the VIX. Obviously, I did point this out, especially to the private member group. Bullish falling wedge pattern, bullish divergence on the momentum indicators, broke out. It was kind of a whippy price action during the last couple weeks, but we broke out, back tested, broke out, and now we've clearly put that price action in the dust. So obviously we're breaking to the upside. And little ways to go. I think we're probably going to hit that 200 SMA there. Okay, let's take a look at the S&P 500, the SPY. Again, okay, so we're coming near support on the SPY on the daily chart. You can see right here we've got, let me kind of clean this up. This is coming off the lows back in October. So this is your bull rally trend line. All right, several reactions, and we're getting close to that trend line. So I suspect we gap down to this trend line maybe tomorrow, or probably tomorrow, gap down there, and then the buyer should be stepping in on the SPY. So keep an eye out for that. Likely going to get a bounce off of that. I don't expect we'll just break right through. We might, but I'd be looking for at least some sort of a reaction or a bounce down on that trend line. So that's a daily chart. And then the small caps. Small caps, that trend line is, way down here, all the way down here at maybe, 177.50 or so. You have the 200 simple moving average at 180. So we could have a little bit more to go on the downside on the small caps. Perhaps we gap down and flag out and then continue. That's possible. But as of right now, we've broken some support, and we'll see how the day closes. We have support here about 190. That's kind of your former reaction highs. Okay. And broke above. You can see we bounced off of that, and now we're below. So we'll see how the day closes. If the day closes back, unless the buyers step in the next 30 minutes, this is going to be a breakdown on a sell signal, which should indicate some more downside in the near future. Gold, here's gold futures. You can see here on the daily chart of the gold futures, we have a bullish falling wedge. Still within that wedge, so no buy signal or breakout on gold, or at least the gold futures. So maybe a little more downside. I could see maybe one more final move down to about this 1823 area. Pretty good support down there. And I've kind of marked it out as this is a zone of support. Anywhere from, from what I can tell, it's anywhere from about 1835 down to 1810 or so. I don't think we go much below that, but, maybe we run down and hit the 200. It's possible. Kind of a zone of support, though. So that's really what I see on gold. And then the miners, especially like the largest miner, Newmont. You can see Newmont here hitting some support here on the daily chart. You can see, look at all these reactions we've had at this key level. Now they can chop through it a little bit. There's a gap right there, but we're pretty much at that level of support. It's about 44.64. We do have earnings coming up. So obviously earnings is coming up on the 23rd. So, expect some choppiness until then, but they'll, the chart tells me because we're at support that we're likely it's it's by the dip. Whether we gap down on earnings, I think the buyers will be stepping in on that gap down, or maybe you just gap up. In general, I think we're going to rally from around these levels. Okay. There's no telling what's going to happen after earnings. You got that headline risk, but I do think the buyers will step in if we gap down on earnings. All right, I'm just going to do a stock blitz and run through a lot of different stocks I've been talking about, give everyone kind of an update on those. CAT, negative divergence on the daily chart. Uptrend line has been broken. There it is, been broken. We've been drifting lower. All right, there's your, we had an original sell signal and then back test, breakdown, just drifting lower. All right, next level of support is about here, 239.80-ish. We take that out. I don't see much support until you run down to about 225.80 or so. And then ultimately, I think we're working our way down to fill this gap down here at 200. Okay. So it still looks good on the short side. It's working out, and we're just going to continue to let it work. Although you maybe get a little bounce here. I don't think it'll be much. I think it'll be pretty muted, and I am expecting the selling to probably start to increase on this one. Okay. LLY, Eli Lilly. This one, again, uptrend line here on the daily. All right, this is going all the way back to November of 2020. So that one is, now on a complete sell signal, sell the rip, broke trend here, back test, and down she goes. All right, underneath the 200-day simple moving average, you can see it's tested it the last few days. It's failing so far. So I'm expecting lower prices I see good support down here, so my target for the near term would probably be about 284-ish. Decent support down there, although this could go a lot lower. Merck, MRK. I know this had a headline that came out, something about, it doesn't even really matter. At the end of the day, the technicals should be our guide. Rallied, you can see basically we had an uptrend line, broke trend, back test, and we've rolled over. Broke support here at about 108.50. All right, back tested, failed, rally again, and we're just slightly above it. There's nothing here that's super impulsive, so I'd expect this to probably roll over here as well. Look for more downside. If they want to run it up and make a new high, and they do it sometime soon, it will be a divergent high. So that would likely be the area where it would sell down from. I'm not so sure. I think we probably break here. But yeah, and then next, there's not really any good support on this until you hit about 95 and the 200-day simple moving average. So I'm looking for more downside. I'm open to the fact that it could rally and make a new divergent high. I probably won't ride this thing short up to the new divergent high. I'd likely stop out and then just look to reshort it up here. Otherwise, I'd look for it to break down. DHI. Okay, so this one, we were watching this one for a while, and you can see kind of a rising channel, rising bearish, rising wedge, negative divergence on the daily. I was talking about it for a couple weeks. Finally broke. It broke trend here, and they recovered it. But at the end of the day, I think that's really your sell signal when you get the daily close clearly below the trend. And that was pretty much the point of recognition, and it's just massive selling ever since. So you can see this thing's just kind of dropping off. I don't see, I see some support. There's a little support right here at 91.50, but we're already down below there. Maybe a little bit of support down here at roughly 86.65, but I see this gap down here, and this is really the cleaner target right down here. Gap in the 200-day down around $78, $80, somewhere right in there would be my target. So I still like it. I think we're heading probably straight down there. And the semiconductors just getting started as they're breaking down out of their bearish rising wedges. Here's AVGO. Okay, you can see, today I feel like is the first really decent breakdown or sell signal. I've been short this one for a little while because they've obviously all looked like they're about to break down. Negative divergence on the momentum indicators breaking down. Support here at about, first level support about 560 or so. Probably get a small bounce there and then probably continue lower. And just going to show about all the semiconductors. Here's SOXX, the semiconductor ETF. You had this rising trend line, broke, back tested for a few days, and rolling over and failing. So little support here about 397. But ultimately, I think we're heading down minimum to the 200 simple moving average, and likely down to back test this trend line as well. So those semis all look good on the short side from my perspective. Nvidia has earnings coming up, so that one might get a little dicey. It's kind of at some support right now, 208, but even if they rally this after earnings, I would look to sell the rip. Okay, if they rally it, I suspect that it will get sold into. If I had to put one way or the other, I'd say they gap it down after earnings, but if they rally, I would look to sell the rip. And obviously it depends on what the chart shows. I don't see any negative divergence on the daily, but clearly on the hourly chart, we've got some divergence. So I'd be looking for a little lower prices here. Boeing, very much like CAT, just kind of drifting sideways to down. I would expect, we take this level out here. It's about 203. We take that out, and that should open it up for more downside. Likely going to sell down to right about here, I'd say. Right about this 187 level. Okay, I can see a couple reactions right in there. And then potentially a back test of this downward trend line. That's your coming off your all-time highs there in Boeing, or your most recent highs back in 2019. And a back test of that trend line would make a lot of sense as well. Starbucks. All right, so Starbucks basically you had bearish rising wedge pattern on the daily chart, big bearish rising wedge. We broke down with the sell signal here. It then back tested for several weeks, creating a secondary trend line, and then it's broke that trend line now. All right, so that's now another sell signal and just gapping down pretty much selling ever since. Support is right here at 104.28. You can see we've had kind of a cluster of resistance there. Let me clean this up. And then it was also some support right through, pretty much support ever since. I expect that's going to break. Okay, we've been trading. We tested it once, rallied. We're testing it again. I'm looking for that to break and for a decent flush down. Minimum, fill this gap right here at 101.27. Probably get a bounce there. Bounce off that. So I think we'll probably come down like this, fill the gap, bounce back up there. That would be resistance, and we'll just continue lower after that bounce down to the next target of about 97. All right, so Starbucks looks good from more downside. Tesla just starting to roll over. Probably one of my favorite shorts really right now. A couple things about Tesla that I like. You have an uptrend line. So this thing rallied off the lows. Tesla rallied off the lows 112%. All right. Nice clean uptrend line to follow. If I roll down to the hourly, you can see the uptrend line. There it is. I've got it marked out, all the tags of support. That's clearly been taken out. So there you go. Took out support here. Rallied into resistance. That was former support. All right, there at about 207 and was rejected, and down she goes. So I don't see, minimum, we should head down to the next level of support, about 189. Probably get a reaction there. But as I flip back to the daily, the downtrend line or the bear market in Tesla is this trend line right here. And I could easily see us coming down to either test that. There's a big gap to fill, so that's a good target there at about 147. And a drop down, just down to that gap fill is about 26%. So I like that as a trade idea. It definitely looks good. I am short this one. All right, I think that's about it. The rest of them, there's obviously additional ideas. I'll talk, I'll point them out in the private member group, but good kind of stock blitz for the broad market. So guys, drop me a thumbs up on your way out. Join up on the private member group. If you're not, if you're not already in there, it's $5 a month. A lot of value there. Check out the technical analysis course. Maybe learn some additional things that I don't cover in my daily videos. It's priced affordable. Link in the description below, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.